Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have an artist in the house. Are we doing names?
It goes GW, the producer.
You alright? You got to speak loud into the mic though, yeah?
Hey, restart me though. I forgot. Do I say my name? I might say my name.
Or we can always edit out. If you don't want it in there, let's just talk and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Run me in from the start.
Okay, so how long, why music?
I've always been passionate about just having fun in my life. I like to have fun, and every time I've been in the situation of being in a real job or a real job situation, I've really struggled, and I always thrive on doing things that I'm creative with and things that spark my attention and get me active. So music is one of those things that I've just done it all my life, and I've always been into rap music, etc. So when I found out that I could kind of dive into the route of being behind the songs, being one of the creators of the music, it drew me in instantly, and I was straight on it.
So tell us, who were you when you were in school? What kind of person were you?
I was I was in trouble a lot at school. No, I never really did nothing wrong. I was just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of the time. I have terrible ADHD in that, so I was always running in whatever situations. But yeah, I struggled in school, always managed to fly through my exams somehow. Always had crap predictions and always just came out with good grades. Just guess I was lucky through my school period.
Okay. Well, you do look, I have to say, you do look like you're very intelligent.
Thank you, bro.
I'll tell you that now. Okay, so you started in the music industry when you're 13.
Yeah.
What was the catalyst that made you realise this is for me?
Well, I didn't really know it was for me when I was that age. I was singing a lot back then, singing in choirs and stuff like that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And then that was really what I was doing up until the age of about 16, I'd say. And then I got bored of it. I didn't love it no more. I thought I was a bit too cool for it. And then so that's the point when I started making beats at age 16. And yeah, that was when I started grinding on the beats and the producing.
So going back to the choir thing,
yeah,
I'm a person who partly brought up in the church, even though I was in care.
Yeah.
So what kind of church was it? A Catholic, Protestant, Church of England?
I was at school in the cathedral in London.
Okay.
So I was singing down there, but in a Protestant church.
So it's choir kind of thing.
Yeah, choral stuff.
So you really understand about notes.
Yeah. I've studied theory and all.
So you're a bit like the similar kind of Whitney Houston background, where you're coming from the church, you understand about music.
Come from the church. Yeah.
Well,
something like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
You
No, of course. No, of course, it's a positive.
Yeah, it's a solid foundation of understand, because everything in the church is always instruments.
Yeah.
It's not nothing electronic. Well, maybe like a keyboard nowadays.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
For real. Yeah.
So you rolled on into making beats. That's your main thing.
Yeah.
What is making beats? Explain that for the layman.
It's very, very, very simple. Honestly, it's basically like a video game. That's how I refer to it. It's you have a program on your computer, and you can literally drag whatever sounds you want in, put them in particular patterns to make drum sounds, to make what would eventually be a beat. And then what I do is I'll go on my laptop, I'll get my keyboard out, play some chords in, play some melodies, play some flutes or whatever, make a little drum pattern over it, structure it out to be a full song, send it to a rapper, and hopefully they like the beat. They come back to me and they say, I want to use this beat, and it gets released as a full song, and that's essentially producing and making beats, simplified.
So how long does it take to make a beat then?
Well, it can either take me a week, or it can take me 10 minutes. It's very it depends what the project is. There's lots of the time I'm just making quick stuff to send out, making beats using all the quick tools I can do just to get them done and send them out. And then other times when I'm working on bigger projects, I'll need to sit there for multiple days, get multiple keys players, bass players in to the studio to contribute to making the beat, and then it will have to get mixed, and that will take me whatever a day. So it really depends on the size of the project, really.
So you literally get musicians in to play their instruments for you to be able to get a beat.
Indeed.
But see what they're playing. So let's say, I don't know much about music at all.
Yeah.
So you get a guitar player.
Yeah.
You get a bass player, and you get a drummer.
Yeah.
Those three together make a beat.
Not necessarily. So yeah, they could make a beat, for example, but I might have a track where I've got the whole beat done, but I want a saxophone on the top of it, for example. So I could just get one guy in to come, and he'll do the saxophone line I want, and that will just be an addition to the beat, for example, that I think's necessary, if you know what I mean.
So you have a vision in your head.
Indeed.
So you're like a composer.
I am the composer.
But of the electronic music world.
Something like that.
And that's where the tie between the church and the choir really is a great foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be on the choir, you need to understand what the composer requires of you.
Yeah.
And now you've been elevated into that position in the digital world.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound about right?
So, yeah, it sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm learning here, by the way. By the way, I am learning.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And stuff. So okay. So when you farm out these beats to rappers, so you have a list of rappers that you're on the network, or you just reach out to anybody?
Well, no, in all honesty, that would have been more my tactic, say a year ago or whatever, where I was sending a lot more stuff out. I was emailing off stuff, but now I'm working on projects. So rather than working with 40 artists like I used to, on the whole amount of artists that I work with, now I work with 3 or 4, and I'm just locked in with them multiple times per week, working on projects, etc., getting them done, and I'm putting a lot more of my concentration and time into that. So at the moment I won't even be sending any beats out. But in the past, what I would have done is had an email list of 100 rappers when I was first starting out, and I just put in beats, send off packs to people who I thought would be appropriate for the beats, and just pray they get used. And that's just a good way of starting to get placements.
Was that effective though?
No, not for me personally.
Did you find people would just take the beat and not want to pay you?
A lot of the time it would be people not hearing the beat. Like, they wouldn't take the time to hear the beat. The way I kind of got into it was actually building relationships more with artists. That's how I really found myself pushing through.
So I spoke about Dr. Is it Iveen, the guy?
The producer we was talking about earlier.
Yeah, what's his name again?
What's his name? Jimmy. What's his name?
Jimmy Iveen.
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Iveen. Now, I know you don't like this. For those who don't see him, he reminds me of a British version of Jimmy Iveen. You're in the rap industry.
Yeah.
So when you're going up to rappers, and I assume stereotypical rappers are normally black guys.
Yeah.
How do they take you? Do they just see you as like, oh yeah, because as a producer, are producers normally white? Are they like that?
Honestly, there's a lot of white. It's a very diverse community, but yeah, I would say there's a large amount of white producers.
You know why? And the only reason I asked this, my cousin was in So Solid. Do you remember So Solid?
So Solid crew.
Yeah. Okay. So I went in the studio once, and this is when I realized the music industry is not for me. He was in that studio 24 hours, just sitting there listening. And he's telling me there's always a white guy who's on this kind of big keyboard thing. Yeah,
Is
that you?
Well, yeah. So I'm a recording engineer as well as a producer. Oh. So lots of people will just be solely a producer or solely an engineer. But with me, my kind of main trait is I'll go with the instrumentals, and then I also record and mix the vocals for the artists.
I'm getting a bit confused. So you make the beats?
Yeah, I make the beat. I'll go and make the beat. And with a lot of artists, they will also ask me to come to their studio and record their vocals and mix their vocals and make it ready for release. So I basically doing a one-stop, a whole package in a way.
So when you make the beats, what's the title for the person who makes the beat? The producer?
Producer. Or beat maker.
A beat maker?
Yeah.
Or producer. And then the person who does the blending of the music is the editor? Who does the recording is the
engineer.
Okay, an engineer.
Yeah, so you can have, say, for example, you can have a recording engineer and a mixing engineer. Someone will record it and then someone will mix it. You can even have mastering engineers who will make the song, who will master the song at the end. But with me, for example, I will record, mix and master and produce the track.
Okay. So why I asked you about the race thing, because with the rappers and all of that kind of thing, and then you come in, and to me, when you said you're a music producer or what have you, I just thought, probably. I thought of that guy, Jimmy Iovine, thought, you're suited. But then I'm just thinking networking across certain things. You know, you're approaching people. How do you get people to take you seriously, or how does it work? How do you networking thing work?
Well, now lots of my opportunities are cut. So actually no, if I take it back, a lot of the time when I was going into rooms of people, there'd often be a point where when you first meet someone, you could feel they're not taking you seriously. Do you know what I mean? But then all you have to do is just show them the source and show them the talent, and they won't fuck with no one else. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. But if an artist comes to you, and this is true for every artist I've worked with, no matter what they think of you when they first meet you, if you provide them with a good service, if you work hard for them and you respect them, then they're gonna love you and they're gonna constantly work with you and not gonna stop working with you. No matter what you look like, how they take you, how they conceive you at first, you just gotta show them your talent, and that's what you need to do.
Yeah, I like that, because it's by merit.
Yeah, and it's so true as well. Like literally, you can just earn the merit, as you say. Like there's times of artists with me there'll be artists who say want to have a particular image of themselves or whatever, but they have enough respect and love for me that they'll bring me into that, even though obviously I may not fit their main image that they're coming from. The love and respect that I have with the artists that I work with, it's that kind of relationship, which is the artists that I'll work with and put proper time and effort into.
Have you ever had to say no to artists?
I have to do that quite a lot, yeah.
Why? What would be the reason?
Well, time. There's just not enough time. Like, I have a recording studio that's just not...
So you have a recording studio at your house?
No, it's a complex down in the south of England.
Okay.
Which is where I live half the time. And I basically would run that studio, but now a lot of my work's been drifting over to London, so I'm in London a lot more of the time. So I have to be saying no to lots of artists every single day who want to book in sessions, who want to get recording, who I want to work with, but just don't have the time to fit in, and it's annoying. But
when you tell them no, I'm sure there's a special way you tell them no. How does that work?
I can find a text that I sent recently.
Okay. And you said the south of England, obviously not giving your home address away. Are you from the south of England?
No, I'm from North London originally, North East London.
Okay, so
Hackney.
How did you end up in the south of England?
University.
So yeah, that's a good question. So you're in uni. Would you study music in uni?
Yeah, I study music at university. Yeah.
What's the degree you?
It's called music and sound production. It's a 3-year degree.
So you're really taking this stuff seriously.
Now, yes.
What I'm thinking. So have you got a text?
Yo G, I ain't running sessions right now. I'm going to be active in the next few weeks. As soon as I'm active, you'll see it on my stories, and I'll give you a ring. That's how I.
So you leave them. So that's kind of leaving them in limbo.
Yeah, it's like I will put, because there'll be times where I will go back and be running sessions, so I'll put it back up, and then people will know that I'm available. But people will still, I'll tell people I'm not working, and they'll still call me and hit me up regardless.
Oh yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. So basically, what you're doing, you're like a barber, and you're saying, "Well, I'm open now."
Yeah, basically.
I'm open for work. Come in, and the note will fall. Sorry, guys. Yeah. That sounds more than fair. No one can really complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the negative things about the music industry that you found?
No sleep. Just been in the studio for 26 hours, genuinely. And I'm
awake?
Yeah, I slept for 8 hours in the studio. And now I'm off to a next studio session, which will be going on until like 12. So it's like you don't really, there's no time for rest if you want to, like if you do want to be at the top, then like of this game, you have to just put the hours in, and there's no other way of doing it, in my opinion. So that's what the struggle is.
Okay.
Obviously, there's other ways of doing it. That's how I'm just constantly in the studio all the time.
So I was going to say, how do you manage your health? Because I know in the music and entertainment industry, there's lots of drugs.
Yeah.
Some people would take drugs to stay awake, which would usually be to their detriment.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you manage? Because also if you're tired and I'm ex-military, so I know if we're tired, you're not going to perform properly. But obviously in the military you have to push on. So what the military has worked out, that if you eat food, that will give you enough energy to be alert, but it can't be carbohydrates.
Of course. Well, it's all about balance, really, in my opinion. Like there's people who say, oh, I'll do this many days straight in the studio and not sleep, and it's kind of like, well, by the fourth and fifth day after that, you're going to be completely destroyed and you won't be able to put any more work in. So you have to be sensible about it, do you know what I mean? So there's times where I say I'll go and do a big long overnight session, but make sure I get at least 6 hours of sleep during that session, and then make sure I'm eating just the right amount of meals a day, not just eating shit. Like it's very easy to just order McDonald's all the time, which I have done a lot, but I'm sorting out. But yeah.
So you spent a lot of time, I'm asking, sleeping on sofas then?
Indeed.
In the studio?
Yeah.
Just crashing like that?
Yeah, straight.
What does the future hold for you?
Well, I've got two big projects coming out, hopefully this summer, which I'm working on. And when those come out, more and more opportunities are just going to arise to me. I aim to go to America in the next few years and build out there, build relations and connections out there, and eventually just become the world's most renowned producer.
Okay.
That's what the future holds, in my opinion.
I love it. I love the positivity.
Indeed.
The mindset, the ambition. That's all good.
Mm-hmm.
That's all good. So, sorry, there's so many questions rushing through my head because this is a very interesting conversation for me, so I'm learning.
Yeah.
What would you say to a younger person who wants to be in the music industry? What would be your advice to them?
What would be my advice? What's given me the most success in music? It's not about when I started in the music industry. It took me, say, 3 years of working for myself, just constantly working in the bedroom on my laptop before I seen any income or revenue of any music I was making. And that's obviously, it's hard to do when you get to say you was at the age of 19 trying to do it. You need to have an income at age of 19. There's things you need to pay for, you have to live your own life, etc. So that's why I value being a young guy and starting out, and I just was pushing age 16, 17, 18 when I was still living at home, and I was making sure I could just put the hours in. And now, after I put that time in, I'm seeing great levels of success that I've been aiming for a long period of time, and just knowing that I pushed through that period where it was hard and I wasn't seeing when I was bad and I wasn't seeing anybody rating my music, I wasn't seeing any financial success of it. Knowing that I pushed through that point to where I got to now was all worth it completely.
When we're talking about beats,
yeah,
I'm just thinking, how much? What would be something someone has to pay for a beat?
What's the fee for a beat?
Is it like a 2,000 or something like that? And is it done in royalties as well? So do you say to someone, actually, you ever heard the 50 Cent book thing where he says to the guy,
when he offered him however many points, or 50 grand, 30 grand? Yeah. Fucking idiot he is,
he lost $1.5 million. Yeah. But he didn't know he was going to...
the lawyer, his lawyer offered to buy the points off him.
I know. The lawyer said, I'll buy the point. 50 goes, no, you ain't buying Yeah. So how does it work? Can you do royalty things?
It all just comes down to the deal. So say, if I was charging X amount for a beat, I'd say to someone, I'm charging X amount for this instrumental, and they could say, I'll give you 4 points I'll give you 4 points on the album or 4 points on this project if you give me, I'll give you 4 points on the thing if you give me less money, for example. So then they could pay me less, but then I'd be getting points in the shares on the album, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So, and then it would be up to me to say whether I want that, whether I won't, and I discuss that and see how that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So what's the minimum thing someone could charge for a beat then? If not you, just generally?
Free.
3K?
No, free.
Free?
Yeah.
People, you give away a beat free?
Of course.
What's the point of making it then? If you
that's about building with people,
building
relationships.
Yeah, so just hold this, and it may be really good, it may do well for them, but they're going to come back to you definitely, and then you can charge them for what you lost out.
Well, yeah, literally, there's people I joke about saying I'll send them a hefty little invoice when they get to success. Like if I believe in somebody, say to somebody who's not. They're not financially. They're not financially stable. They're extremely talented. They want to release music, and I can see potential in them. I'm there like, why would I not just give them the beat? I'll just fling you the beat, and you can just do what you want on it. And then if you want to give me 50, if you want to give me whatever on the track, yeah, give me my 50% writing. I'll take my 50%, and then I'll take whatever. I'll be like, oh yeah, I will maybe get a little share on the song. Do you know what I mean? But essentially, if they go and get 30 mil streams on the song, and they're a good person, more time they're going to break you in, and you're going to do the next song with them. Do you know what I mean? Once you've done the next song with them, they're going to be able to pay you for that beat. They're going to have that streaming money. Do you know what I mean? They'll be able to pay you your $2,000, $3,000 that you want for the beat the next time, and you'll have established a relationship with them.
So you must need a music lawyer all the time.
Yeah, it's good to have a lawyer who reads through every single thing you get sent. And make sure nothing's dodgy.
Do you have a specific music lawyer?
Indeed, I do.
Okay, so I know a lady who I went to college with. She's a music lawyer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I've just find one good lawyer that you can trust, and you know is trustworthy, and they'll sort you right out. But they just need to be. A good music lawyer who's been referred to you is always a good one.
Was that hard, finding a good music lawyer?
No, but just because I was very lucky, I knew a guy from a parent of one of my mates from school who was a music lawyer, and he referred me on to a really good one for what I was needing, and was specific to me.
Okay, so it's through that networking again.
Yeah.
So the key thing to your music industry is all about networking.
It is all about network.
I suppose that's anything really in business, isn't it?
It's like when you go, like if you walk into a room and somebody knows that you work with a particular person, they will show you a level of respect. And they will treat you in a particular way, and it's not obviously, but that is just how it works. You know what I mean? So like even if your credits, if they see your credits, they see who you've worked with, they'll have a gauge for your level and your standard and come at you in a particular way.
Yeah, I suppose it's like, some people are vouching for you, isn't it?
100%.
It's like if so and so, like I was listening to a podcast I did earlier, and it's a violinist. He's a violinist, and his first job.
Yeah.
He works with Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer. Yeah. And it's like, that was his first job.
Yeah.
Because a guy brought him in.
Yeah, literally.
And his mentor brought him in, and from there he's done James Bond music. He's done all these heavyweight things.
Yeah.
But to see him, you wouldn't really think nothing of him. He's
do
you see what I mean?
No, yeah, 100%.
He's just being carried like that. Okay. This is really, really good. You're having a great music career so far.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have changed? And if so, why? Decisions you've made?
Nah, I wouldn't change anything. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very interesting journey. I've just been learning, and I'm still learning and still progressing. And everything I've learned has been so valuable that I can't think of anything that I'd want to get rid of, if you know what I mean. I've learned a lot of lessons, good and bad lessons, but just keeping me wise in the industry.
Yeah, I like that. That's the glass half full attitude.
Yeah.
It's always half full. Even if it's a mistake, you still got water in there, you still can learn from it.
That's what I'm saying.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, we're coming to the end of the journey now.
Indeed.
It's been a great interview. I'm happy you did it. Are you happy?
I'm still feeling. I don't know.
If people do want to reach out to you to find beats or whatever, where can they contact you on? Are you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at GW the Producer.
GW.producer.
GW the Producer.
Oh, GW the Producer.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the way you say the producer.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks a lot for that, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.